Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. We can start, ma'am.
We
All
can
right,
hear you. Hi.
All right. Yeah. Good evening. Thank you. Goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So before we start today's class, like as usual, we want a quick recap from our last class, right? So who will help us with that? Like a quick recap of our last class. Sadiq, can you please unmute and help us with a quick recap with our last class? Hello, Sadiq. Good evening. Hello. Okay. Oh, Adam Larry. Good evening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm outside at the moment, so this place is kind of noisy, ma'am.
Yeah, you can still help us with the recap, right? The noise is not too much. We can hear you clearly.
So from our last class, testing on a site, and through the testing we tested what's it called? We input some text into the text bar and the response and everything. We check the responsiveness of the website. Then the email section, we try using positive what's that word again? We
Positive
use
symbols.
yes, positive symbols, then we see the outcome and negative one. So that is a brief recap I can give, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Hi, K. Lillian. Good evening. Hello, Lillian. Good evening. Please, can you hear me? Hello? Okay. Hi, K. Can you hear me? Wow. Can another person confirm they can hear me? So I'll be so sure my network is good.
I can hear you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Adam Larry. All right. Thank you. So who else wants to give us a quick recap so we can just, before we continue with today's class? Any other person? Like a quick recap of what we learned last class. Temidayo, please, can you help? Temidayo, good evening. Please, did you just join this class and just mute our mic?
I'm
Oh,
here.
okay.
Okay, let me try.
All right, thank you.
This is goodness.
Okay, goodness. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Okay. So in the last class, we talked about manual testing and automation, and we talked about manual testing. Manual testing is a type of testing that is executed manually. So an individual goes on the system and tests the different components of that software to see if it is functioning as expected, if it meets the provided requirements without using any form of automation or automation tool. And there are different types of manual testing. We talked about black box, white box, integration testing, just like we talked about in the previous class before yesterday's before Tuesday's one. And then we moved on to, you gave us a brief on how to perform manual testing. First, you have to read and understand the software project documentation, maybe the FRD or whatever documentation that has been provided. You have to read it and fully understand so that you can understand how the system should behave. And then the second thing is that you draft test cases that will cover all the requirements mentioned in the document. And the third one is that you review the baseline and the test cases with your team lead to make sure that your test cases is good enough. And once you get the go ahead, you can now, execute the test cases And if you find any bug, you report them. And once the bugs has been fixed, you go ahead and run those test cases again for the ones that did not pass.
All right. Thank you very much. Goodness, that was very detailed. Thank you very much. Yeah,
You're
thank you.
welcome.
So I noticed that most of us have not submit our tax. Do we have anyone that is having any challenge or any blocker with the tax? So we can clarify that before we go to today's class. Because today's class is like a new topic, right? So it's not as if I'm going to dwell on that topic. I'm just expecting you to solve that tax with our last class. So if you have any question based on the tax or based on the last class, please send the file before we move to today's topic. Is there anyone? Okay. I'll assume that there is none. So we can continue to our class today. So today we'll be talking about test design techniques. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
All right. So today we'll be talking about test design techniques, and majorly or basically we have two types of test design techniques. Like when we are talking about test design techniques, we are talking about our test plan and our test case. These are the things they have been carried out before our actual testing. So let's go to the slide. So the test design techniques are structural approach that help testers to drive effective test condition and perform the basics for creating a solid test plan and a test case. As I've said earlier, like it helps a testers to have test in effective test conditions and form the basis for us to create a very solid test plan and test case. Today we'll be talking about the test plan, and we'll have a practical section after the whole talk. We have like a class work that each and every one of us we do, and after when we are done, we're going to share our screen at least for 2 minutes. Me too, I'm using my phone, so you're not be like you're using your phone, that's why you're not sharing your screen. I'm using my phone and I'm sharing my screen, so you have to explain what you've done. So please follow up, because I don't want any one of us to be missing out, because test plan is like one of the major sorry I need to text plan is like one of the major things they're expecting QA to know how to write. As a QA, you must know how to write a test plan. You must know how to write test cases also, because most of the time you might not write the master test plan, but the specific one they might start writing this test plan. So you're expected to understand what is the test plan. So before I proceed, please, do you have anyone that wants to explain to us what they know before this class, what a test plan is? Yes, Favor, we are just starting. Yeah, we are just starting. So I'm using my phone, so to read chats and everything might not be as easy for me. So in case you want to talk, you can just raise up your hand, right? So do you have anyone who want to voluntarily explain what you understand by test plan, like before this class? Maybe this is not our first time of hearing the word test plan. So do you have anyone? So nobody has heard test plan before. Like this is our first time of hearing test plan.
Excuse me, ma. Is it the same thing that works with Web3? Because I've been into Web3 testing before.
I mean test plan. Test plan is a document. So what do you
Yes,
understand?
like I'm actually that for software testing, is it the same thing? Like documentation and everything, is the same thing with Web3? Because I did one Web3 testing.
Do you do test plan for the testing?
Uh
Yeah.
no, I'm not sure.
Okay. If you have a test plan for it, in as much as you are carrying out a test and you have a test plan, of course, we are talking about the same thing. Do you get my point? So, Sam, you can unmute and talk, please.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
I will say test plan is just a document that shows how a software system will be tested. Like
How
a
a
roadmap.
software will be tested.
Yeah.
It's sounding more like a test case to me. Test plan is more detailed than that.
Okay.
But thank you. Like, although it shows how, but it has beyond that how. Thank you very much for that song. Thank you very much. Do you have another person? Okay. Ugochukwu, I don't know if I'm correct. I'm not saying the full pronunciation right, so I'm sorry. Victor, yeah, you can unmute and talk.
Okay, I think test plan is just like the name implies, is a document that shows the strategy from beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Like I say, it's a document that shows the strategy or the schedule or the process of the testing process from the beginning to the end, the timing, the timeline, and everything.
Yes, exactly. So it is like just think about test plan as. Thank you very much, Victor. Thank you very much. Do you have Oluwadamilare? You can.
Yes, ma. I just remember it's the same thing. So, it's more like an approach to the tests that will be going out in terms of the introduction, the strategy, and the environment, testing environment.
Yeah, yes, you're correct. Yeah. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you for the contribution, right? So just think about test planners. You know, you can't just build a house, right, without having a building plan, like the way you want to structure, the way you want your house to be, like a structure. Like maybe you want a 3-bedroom, maybe you want a duplex, anything you want. You have like a plan for it. Like we have an architecture of it. It's not as if that is the main building, right? But you just have it like, okay, this is what I want to build. This is how I want it to be. This is how it wants to look like. And at the end of the day, you are going to work, like you're going to work to achieve that look. You are going to when you are done with your building and you place it beside your plan, like your house plan, like let me just put it like that, like it must be like, or even not 100% the same thing, right? It might not be 100% accurate, but at least it must be in line with what you actually drafted from the beginning. So why do you have text plan? You have text plan to it is something that started at the early stage of testing. It started very early when we are talking about software development life cycle. No, sorry, software testing.
You're no longer sharing your screen.
Yes,
You can
I
see
know.
your screen.
Yes. I'm trying to stay on Zoom, so I'll be able to check the activities going on. Once I'm talking about the documents, I'll go back there. All good.
All right.
Thank you. So, as I was saying, right? If we want to start a text plan, if we want to draft a text plan, we are talking about everything that will happen from the beginning to the end of our testing phases. So we have the software testing life cycle. The software testing life cycle, the first one is requirements gathering, which we have talked about last week, right? I feel like we talk about you must gather your requirements. If your product team give you your requirements, you must understand your requirements. The requirements gathering, you must understand what you want to test. At least understand what you want to test before you even want to start testing. So we have the requirements gathering, we have the test plan. After requirements gathering is test plan. Immediately you understand what you want to test, then you draft your you have a test plan. It is a document that will show you everything that is going to happen throughout the cycle of your testing. When you are going to start testing, when you are going to close testing, how you are going to test, what you are going to test for, what type of testing you are performing, how many testers are doing this test, how many time, what environments are we using, how many test plan is everything. That's why I said that it's beyond how we test. It is like basically everything that is around that testing. I hope you understand, right? So I'm going back to my slide now. They said test plan is a document that consists of all future testing related activities. Now it's not as if we have started testing. we are just planning for our test. We are planning to test. We have not started testing at all. We are planning to test. So it is all future related activities. The things we'll be doing in the future. The testing will be actually carrying out in the future. We want to plan for it. It is like a planning phase. It is like a planning phase. It is prepared at the project level, and in general, it defines what products to be tested, how they will be tested, and the types of and test type distribution among the testers. As I've said earlier, it's going to talk about, okay, what product are we testing? Okay, how are we going to carry out this testing? Okay, who are those people? How many testers are actually going to test this product? Okay, what is our deliverables for this product? What is our cycle? How many time are we testing? What is our environment? Okay, is it on staging? Is it on production? Are we testing on dev first? After we test on dev, we move to staging. After we test on staging, do we just test, or do we test production, or we just leave it for users to use the application without testing the production? We are going to is like a document that shows everything. When I'm just thinking about test plan, just feel like it is a document that shows everything around what you are testing for, and every other thing. A test plan is a comprehensive document outlining all testing related activities for a project. It is a comprehensive document. Like it is not something that is it, although sometimes we have types of test plan, we get there, but at least it must be comprehensive enough. It must give us almost everything that is going to happen in the project phase. It's detailed what will be tested. I'll say that. What are we expecting to see in our test plan? What are we testing in our test plan? What are we going to be testing? That is what we are expecting to be. How we are going to test, by who? Who are those people that are testing? This is going to serve as a blueprint for the testing and coordinating among the QA team. So that is what that's like a definition for our test plan. I feel like we should understand now. And if you have anyone that have any question, you can just raise up your hand before I continue. Do you have any question before I go back to the slides? All right, I'll assume we all understand. So we have type of test plan, right? We have type of test plan. We have 3 types of test plan. And you might read some document, they might say we have 2. You might read some document, they might say we have 3. But we have 3 types of test plan according to this, my own documents. You might go online, they might say we have 3, we have 4. But we are going to talk about the master test plan. The master test plan. The master test plan is like, just think about master test plan as when you are for an application now, you are building everything. You are not removing anything out. Like everything that is around the application, you are writing a test plan for it. This time around, it is around everything that is around the application. That's what we refer to as manual test plan. And the purpose of manual test plan is a high-level document that outlines the overall testing strategy for the entire product or the project. I've told you this master test plan. We are not removing anything. We are not writing a test plan for a part. We are writing the test plan for the whole project, for the whole product we want to test. That's the purpose of the test plan. What are the things we should find in our manual test plan? Our objectives. What are the objectives of our testing? The scope of our testing. Don't worry, I'm still going to explain this later. I have a breakdown for it. We're going to have our resources, our schedule, our testing level, our tools. Okay, this testing we are going to do, what tools are we going to use to carry out the testing, right? Are we going to use any automation tools? Are we using any manual tools? Like, are we using any reporting tools? Okay, we want to report our bugs. Are we using any test management reporting tools? That is everything. We want to see everything in our test plan. The risk management. Okay, what are the risks around this project? Is it that the number of testers are not enough? Is it that the time is not enough? The time given from the product to deploy is not enough. We have to test, we have to have that risks in our test plan, and we have to talk about how we are managing those risks. We have to understand those risks even before we start testing. Imagine you want to your product owner give you 6 months to finish a particular project, but at the end of 5th month the project is not even close to done. In your test plan, you should have, at least in a way, you should have asked for more time. Even, okay, this project is going to be 6 months, and you've drafted a test plan, you are very realistic when you're drafting your test plan. In all sense, if you're having 2 QA to test this product is going to take us. If you're having 2 QA and 2 dev to build this site, then we need more hands. So we cannot finish this project in the next 6 months. We need maybe like extra 2 months. We must be able to talk about everything that you need for your testing phases in your test plan. So what are those people that use the test plan? Basically, the project managers use the test plan to monitor the testing, how it's going. The project manager will be like, okay, what are you doing? They will understand how you are testing, what you're testing for, and everything about your testing phases with your test plan. So most of the time, they won't even have to come and ask you directly that, okay, QA, where are you now? Because they have your test plan, they will follow closely the test plan to monitor the project. So it's not every time it will require them to start coming to your table. QA, are you testing? QA, are you not testing? Like that. So the project managers need it. The team lead, the test lead, the QA team lead, of course, they will need it to monitor the project as well, and the stakeholders of the product. Examples: test plan covering all phases of testings. We have units, integration, systems, and acceptance test plan. For test plan, for a master test plan, you are going to cover everything. You are going to cover from your unit testing, your integration testing, your acceptance testing. Don't forget this master's test plan. Everything that you are going to do on that application, as far as you are testing it, it must be included in your test plan. Nothing must be left out. Nothing must be left out. That is the master test plan. And the second one is the level specific test plan. This one is like you are taking a part now. The master test plan is like you are taking the whole. But think about this level specific, like you are taking a part as, okay, are we doing unit testing? If we are doing unit testing, then maybe we are not building a whole application per se, and maybe they just want to add a small feature to a particular application, an existing application, right? Then you need to write a test plan for it. Maybe you're doing a unit testing. Then you feel like, okay, for the unit testing you're about to do, for that particular feature they want to add to the application, write a test plan for that particular feature that is going to be added to the application. Like it might be units. Okay, for this, I'm carrying out a unit test. Let me draft a test plan. I'll be carrying out a unit test on this application. I'm carrying out an integration testing. Okay, let me draft a test plan. I'll be carrying out an integration testing for the application. We all know what unit test is and what integration test is. So your test plan should be around. You cannot tell me you are designing a test plan that is for unit test and I'm seeing something that is beyond units inside it, then it's not appropriate. You cannot tell me you are designing a test plan that is for integration testing and I'm seeing only unit components inside it. It is not appropriate. So you must know if you are writing a master test plan, you must know if you are writing a specific test plan. If it is level specific test plan you are writing, is it by unit? Is it by integration? And others. Please, do we have any questions before I continue? I need to be so sure we are understanding. All right. If we do not have any question, can anyone just explain what they understand by test plan and master test plan? So I'll be so sure we are following. Anyone? You can just raise up your hands. Blessing Samuel, you are a bit lost. Can you just unmute and ask your question?
But please, a bit lost. Like we are rushing everything. So I don't even know where how the master test plan. I don't even understand that part. Talk of the level specific test plan.
Do you understand test plan itself?
I don't understand, man. I raised my hand, but I think you didn't notice.
Oh, sorry, I'm joining with my phone, right? So I really don't have everything going on. So who wants to explain test plan for Blessing Samuel now? Anybody? Because I was asking if you understand. Everybody understand. So if I call your name, you should be able to explain, right? Who wants to explain test plan? Or is it everybody that don't understand? So I'll know where to start from. Victor, please, can you unmute? Victor,
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
thank you. Can you please help me to explain? Do you understand like what test plan mean and what master test plan mean, right?
Yeah, I could give it a shot.
All right. Thank you. Can you please help me to explain? Like,
Okay, test plan, like we previously, or like you have said, is a document that outlines the strategies, the plan, the lead, the everything that you are going to. It's just like a plan document or a design document that tells the story of what is going to happen in a particular project.
okay. Yeah.
Then types of test plan, we mentioned master test plan, which is what you have explained.
Yes.
And you said that master test plan is a test plan that contains every information, detailed information, like integration testing, unit testing, whatever we are going to do for a particular project, the timing, the beginning and the end of everything on that project.
Yeah.
That is what you mentioned, that
Yeah.
master
Thank
testing is.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So do you have anyone that wants to add to what Victor have said before I
Yes,
continue?
good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
The
Sadiq,
next is you talked about you want me to start from beginning or I just continue from where
yeah,
you
you
stop?
can start from beginning, you can continue.
Okay,
Just make it like just make it
okay. The
short.
next is a specific test plan, which consists of particular test, like maybe you are testing for a unit testing or integration testing. You are not supposed to see integration testing in a unit testing. I mean, in specific testing. That will be for a particular testing. Like maybe if you are testing for a unit, you are testing a unit testing. That will be a unit testing. If you are testing for, if you are making a plan, making a plan for integration test, that will be for only integration test. If you are making a plan for maybe regression test, that will be for it. So you are not supposed to
Yes,
mix it up. That's what we mean by specific test.
yes,
So
yes.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, thank you very much. Sam, please unmute and talk. You can raise down your hand. Sam?
Okay, I just want to ask a question.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's a bit confusing because from what Victor said, the definition of test plan is and master test plan is almost the same thing. Like, is there a difference between master test plan, which is a type of test plan, and the test plan itself? So I'm a bit confused.
Just think about master test plan as test plan. But do you know what? I would want you to, when you're talking about master test plan, that means you are doing everything. You're not taking anything out. So we have the same definition as test plan. Do you get my point? Test plan generally means that you have a document that is going to show you everything around your project. Now, for master test plan, you are going to plan for everything that is going to happen in that project. For a specific level test plan, you are not planning for everything. You're not planning for every type of testing. Let me just use the word type of testing per se now. Do you get? Now, you're not planning for every type of testing. For a master test plan, you are going to plan for every testing type that you are going to be doing. Like if I'm going to perform a unit test, a regression test, an integration test, then it should be in my master test plan. Sam, do you understand now?
Yes.
If I'm now going to have only, let's assume like I'm not doing everything, I just want to test for maybe like a unit functionality, then I was requested to draft a test plan for a unit functionality. I'm performing only unit tests. It's not as if I'm starting the project from the scratch. Of course, the project might have a master test plan, so I will just do the unit test plan. It will be attached back to the master test plan. If I'm doing a unit testing, I'm just testing like a button. Let me say a button is not working and I just want to test that button. Then I draft a test plan around that button that is not working. That is the unit testing that is not working. When I'm done, they will attach it to the master test plan because it's still part of the project as a whole. I don't know if you understand my point, Sam, right? Sam, do you get me now? Okay. Yeah, Blessing Samuel, do you understand or do you want me to just go back and start again? Anything?
I understand now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you have anyone that have another question before we continue the class? Please, I may not see your chats. I'm using my phone. My PC is down, so I don't want a situation whereby I will not be able to end the class. So that's why I'm joining with my phone. So if I'm sharing my screen, I might not have the opportunity to know what is going on Zoom. So you can just call my attention in case you need anything. Unmute and talk. I will reply. So we have test plan. Just think about test plan as you are trying to build a house. You need to draft your plan. They will be like maybe house plan. I don't know the proper word for it, right? But like we have it like your architecture, we draw the drawing, how we want that house to be. Like it's not as if that you are building the house. It's not as if you've started building the house, rather. It's not as if you've started buying any material, but you know what you want your house to look like. You are planning against what you really want. So that's the same thing as test plan. You're just trying to, everything that is going to come into the house, everything that's not coming into the house, you know it even before you start. Some people will even go to give you the estimation of how many blocks you are going to use, how many cement you are going to use to achieve that dream house of yours. So just think about test plan of everything that needed to, everything you are going to do in your testing phases, everything. And we have the master test plan and the level specific test plan. So the third one, sorry. I don't know why my slide is not behaving well. So I'm coming. I'm trying to. So we have the phase test plan. Let's just use it like that. I guess the image is not loading. That should be a bug. I don't know. But the image is not loading. So let's just use it like that. So we have the phase test plan. Like this is based on the types of objective of the testing you want to carry out rather than the level. Rather than unit, integration, regression. Now you're having this one at the type of testing you want to perform. Okay, am I performing a performance test? Okay, you have an application that is working, everything is working, the functionality of the application is working, everything is working, but they want you to perform a performance test on that application. Then you need to draft a performance test plan for the application. Now you are focusing on a non-functional type, like it's not like you are testing the functionality of the application. Whenever you are performing a performance testing, you are testing the non-functional aspect of the application. Now your test plan is going to be around that performance test you are going to carried out. If you want to perform a performance test, you are going to talk about, okay, what are the types of testing you want to perform? Are you doing load test? Are you doing stress test? Are you doing scalability, reliability? Okay, do you want to use tools? What type of tools are you using? Are you using JMeters? Are you using any online tools? We have a lot of online tools. We have LoadGen. We have a lot of online tools for performance testing now. Are you using any of these tools? So that is what is going to be included. Instead of you to have a test cases that is going to cover both functional, integration, system, anything. Now your test cases in your test plan, because test case is part of test plan, is going to be limited to your performance test plan. When you're trying to, if you want to do a performance test plan, you are just going to write that plan based on that performance on that testing, which is performance testing you're about to carry it out. It's not as if you are going to be having everything. It's not as if you now have functional, your functional testing in your performance test plan. It's wrong. If the application is stable and they ask you to perform a security test, now it's not as if you are testing if a button is working or if the performance of the application is working. No, you are performing a security test. The vulnerability, you are checking for the vulnerability, you are checking for the authentication, access control, you are checking if the data of your users are being protected. Then you have to draft a security test plan. It is like a phase of a testing. It is specific. We have regression test plan. If we have a stable application and they just want you to, okay, this application is already stable, right? Okay, just perform a regression testing on the application. Let's be so sure that everything is working, and these new changes that we added to this these new changes that we added to this application has not affect anything. Then you will write your test plan based on the type of testing you want to carry out. Just think about phase test plan as something that is more specific. Okay, you want to test application on the user, on the UAT, a different environment. You want to do user acceptance testing. Now you are going to draft everything around your test plan for users acceptance testing. You want to do your everything around your you want to do everything around your user acceptance testing. Every of your test plan, you want to make sure that everything is around the UAT, is not beyond what you are testing for. Do we understand? We have 3 types of test plan. Let me go over it again. We have 3 types. Okay, Goodness, I'm coming.
Okay.
Okay, Goodness, please, you can talk.
Okay. Thank you. The phase test plan sounds like the level specific test plan. So it's a bit confusing. My question would be, what's the difference between levels of testing and types of testing? Because in the
levels
in
of
the level,
levels of testing and types of testing.
yeah.
That's why I said that before I started this class, right? I said that you might read some types of test plan and might find 2. I don't even remember. And I said you might
I
read
heard
some,
that.
and I said you might read some, you might find 3. One thing about QA is that all these things are just grammar. Think about how am I going to say? Think about the first one, the level specific test plan, because we have some people that refer types of testing to be 3 types. We have 3 levels of testing. We have the unit testing. We have the second one is integration testing. Yes, we have the unit testing, we have the integration testing, and we have the system testing. Yes, and some people do not accept they have types of testing to be either functional testing or non-functional testing. So by levels, when we are testing by levels, we are testing by units, system, and integration. Blessing, do you understand now?
I'm following.
Yeah. So we are testing by units, system, and integration. So when we are not doing other types of testing other than this level, then they will regard these as other types, like your performance testing, your any testing that comes after your regression testing, any form of testing that comes after this will be under the other types of testing. Any other testing that comes under this will be under these other types of testing. But for the purpose of this, I just need to break this down, because level specific test plan now, you are testing by levels. Like, you are checking the unit first. The unit is just for you to check if a part is working, and you are checking the integration. Like, when you are checking integration now, you check if everything is working together. And by system testing, you are checking if everything is working together, and you're checking your compliance also. Like, you're checking everything, like you're checking the whole system as a whole, and you're checking the compliance of the application. So by other types of testing now, you're doing your performance testing, you're doing your every other types of testing now. It's going to be like a phase of test. Regression testing is going to come if there's no change in your code. There will not be need for regression testing. So that is like other types of testing. If you don't need to test your performance, if your application don't need to pass through performance testing, then you don't need to have a performance testing, and like that, in that order. I don't know if that answers your question. Let's see. Goodness, right? Yeah, goodness.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right. Do you have another question? Anyone? So do you understand the type of test plan and the test plan itself before we go to how to write a test plan, or what are the things we are expected to say in our test plan? All right, Sam, you can unmute and talk.
Yes, is it possible for you to just explain this phase and test plan, please? Because I really don't understand it well.
Which one? The phase test plan.
Yes.
Do we know, you have to know your type of testing very well. That's why I said that all these things, they are just big grammar. Let's go back to the slides. See, the level specific test plan, we have the unit test plan, we have the integration test plan, and we have the system test plan. That is not included, but if you want to test by levels, we have the unit, the integration, and the system. Sam, please, I want to be sure you are following. So
Yes,
if you are performing a unit, we know the definition of these things. I don't really think I have to. God. I'll still try to on my PC, right? Okay, if you're performing a unit test, I feel like we understand the definition of unit, integration, and system testing. Like, we have done that. So if you're performing a unit test, imagine you just want to test a unit of an application, like maybe like a search button. That is all you want to test, or what you are expected to test, right? They will just ask you, we need a unit test plan. You need a test plan for that functionality you are about to test. Just draft a test plan, everything that you need to carry out that test. Okay, I want to test the introduction. The purpose of this test plan is to test a search button, blah 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 shit. Then you have to add everything. What I'm doing, I'm just testing the search button. Your test cases, I'm testing for this, I'm testing for that, I'm testing for that. What are your in scope? What are your out scope? You're going to add everything. You are doing a unit, because that is not like you're testing the whole application. It's not like you're having a master test plan. You're having a unit test plan. Or if you are doing an integration test plan, now you're going beyond testing a unit. You want to test, okay, if the search button is working. You want to test if add to cart is working. You want to test if everything is working. If user can go back, if user can save money, if user can withdraw money. You want to test you want to test how everything, each modules integrates to each other. You are going to write an integration test plan. Now it's beyond the unit level. It's beyond you testing for a unit. Now your test plan needs to be more detailed around that type of testing you want to carry it out. I feel like your test plan, if it's not master test plan that covers the whole project, then the other type of test plan should be other type of testing you're about to carry out. Now, it might be based on the level of your testing, and it might be based on the phase of your testing. That is what we are talking about. Now, the phase of the testing might be, okay, I'm just testing for performance. I'm not testing any other thing in this application other than the performance. How many users can use this application at a time? How many stress can this application take? How many load? You are just checking the performance. Then you have your test plan to be around that performance testing. Now, we are not expecting to be seeing you testing a unit, like which is not like you are testing for a level. When you're checking performance, you're checking a non-functional part of the application, and you're checking the load, the stress, and everything. So you're not expecting to be seeing unit components or unit terms in your test plan when you're writing a performance testing. Just understand the type of testing you're about to carry out. So when you're asked to draft a test plan for it, then you will draft your test plan around that type of testing. I don't know if that answer your question, Samuel, before I continue, right?
Okay, thank you. That's
Good evening.
Yeah,
Good
good evening.
evening.
Yeah, good evening,
I
Victor.
want to ask something. It's Sadiq.
Okay.
Like this one now, you're saying face testing now, and what is the difference between this face testing and specific testing? They are more of like the same.
Okay. They are more like the same. I've said this thing over and over again. If you understand your type of testing very well, when you're not writing a master test plan, let's just take it for the purpose of this class that if you're not doing a master test plan, that is, if you're not testing for everything around the application, any other type of testing, we know our types of testing very well, right? Any other type of testing we are about to carry out, then our test plan should be based on that type of testing we're about to carry out. If I'm not testing the whole application, and I'm just like they just request me to test the units, like a smallest units of the application, then the test plan I'm expected to draft is just going to be based on that unit. That's why I said that some people, if you read some QA documents, right? If you read some QA documents online, they will tell you that we have types of testing by levels. And by levels, they mean units, system, and what's the third one? Integration. And some people will say that we have it by functionality. I feel like this is why we are getting it mixed up, right? That's why I said that just take it as whenever you want to test, when you're not doing a master test plan, that's when you're not starting the project, a whole project from the beginning to the end, and you are just going to be testing maybe a part of the project, maybe like a unit of the project, an integration of the project, a regression of the project, a functionality of the project, any other thing that is not like you testing for the whole project. You are expected to draft your test plan around the type of testing you are going to be carried out. Just leave these levels and everything. I feel like I should have make it too. All right, Victor, do you have any question? You can just unmute and talk. I can see your hand is raised, right? Victor.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to clarify my own head because
All
I
right.
think it's the explanation that you previously gave that is leading us to this little confusion.
Okay.
Is it okay for us to see master test plan as that test plan that's just like the name implies, master? It's comprises of everything. We are building a test plan that is going to check everything for that particular thing we are testing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Why we see other ones as level test plan, which we can break it down into unit testing, integration, system, because each of them, just like we have types of testing,
Testing.
so each of them we have to prepare a test plan for each of the test plans, types of testing we are going to do.
Types. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. So do you have any other question?
Just to add to what he said, so in other words, the master test plan contains the specific level test plan and the phase testing plan. inside it. Is that
Yes.
what this means?
No, the master test plan is, sometimes you might not be doing performance testing, even though you are testing a whole project. Do you get my point now?
Okay.
Goodness. Yeah,
Okay.
you might not be doing performance testing. You might not be doing security testing. Your project might not require that. So if you try to add face to it, it might not be complete. Like the definition might not be adequate enough. Just think about master test plan as everything, every type of testing you are going to be carried out on your project. There's no way you will want to build a whole project and the only type of testing you'll be doing is units. It's not possible. You will do beyond unit testing. You will do integration testing and you will do regression testing. I don't know if you get my point. So if you now want to think about master test plan, you are testing everything you are going to be testing for in your project. Because if you say that we should think about it, we should add performance to it. Some application does not even require you to test the performance. Some application does not require you to test the security. So is like everything that you are going to be needed to be every test that is going to be carried out on your project. There's no way you are going to be carried out a particular type of testing on a project. Like you want to build a complete application. Of course, we carry out different type of testing, but some application might not even require you testing for performance. Some application might not even require you testing for security, maybe because it is not covered, or maybe they don't have the time, or they don't even value it. So you might not add the face to it. You might think about master test plan as anything you are going to be testing for in your application. That's why I don't want you to get it too complicated. Maybe I should just try to take it from the beginning. Master test plan is when you're testing everything. Let's assume we want to build an application now, like a simple application, like want to start an application from the beginning. We are going to be doing UI UX testing. We are going to be doing UI UX testing. We are going to be doing integration testing, unit testing, every type of testing. They want to build a test plan for that project because it is a new project. We are going to have like a master test plan for it. We are going to start from the beginning. Every type of testing that is going to be carried out on the application will be included in it. For the other type of testing now, that's okay, we have an application. We have like Jumia is up and running. We now want to include that users will be able to search by voice. That is like a feature in it. I want to include it to the application, that anytime user go to Jumia, they click on the voice, the same way you can just search by voice on Google. You click on that button and you're able to talk and it returns to you. Now to include that kind of functionality on Jumia now, you are not building a master test plan again because it has been built. Is an application that is running already, right? Now, if we want to, you might have your unit test plan, you might have your integration test plan, you might have your regression test plan. If that is what will be carried out on that application. I don't know if you get my point. Blessing. So I don't want us to include the performance and security because most of the time it might not be needed. That's why I don't want us to include the face testing to it. Goodness, right? Yeah, goodness.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you understand?
Hmm.
Yeah, do we have any other question before we continue, please? Any other question? Okay. Yeah, because of our time, I want us to continue. So how do we write this test plan? What are the things we need to do before we write this test plan, or what are we expecting to see in our test plan? Number one, the first thing you have to do is to analyze your product, the product you are testing for, analyze it, understand the product. I've told you that as a quality assurance person, you need to understand the product even before you start testing. Analyze your product, do an interview with anybody that needs, even if it's the developer that you need to meet with, the product owners, everybody. Just have the understanding. If you are not clear, ask question. This thing is I'm not clear. I need to know, what are we building, what are we doing? Analyze the product. So what is the primary objective of the product? I would feel like let's think about if you want to have a test plan now. You have your introduction section. So in your introduction section, these things are expected to be there. Number one, like, what is the primary objective of our product? Okay, yes, we have a product. What is the primary objective of this product? Let's use Google for an example, right? We can say the primary objective for Google is that users should be able to ask questions or search for whatsoever things they want to search for, and it should be able to give them as many as results that is possible. So you must understand the primary objective, like the main objective of the product you're about to write a test plan for. What is the main objective? Who are the target or users who will use these products? For Google now, who are the target users of Google? Can anyone answer? Who are the target users? Oh yeah. Anyone? Favor. Who do you think are the target users of Google? Okay. Peace. All right, someone is raised is around, right?
Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought I unmuted myself.
All right. So who
Can
do
you
you
hear
think
me?
yeah, can you hear you now, Favor?
Okay. I think for me,
Yeah,
I
I can
think
hear you now.
you could say students who are doing
Favor, are you still
research.
talking? Oh,
Yes,
maybe your
I'm
network
speaking.
is
Can you
bad,
hear
right?
me?
Comfort, you can unmute and talk.
Okay, business people are the ones that are using Google. Those in business. Can you hear me?
Blessing Samuel.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
unmute? Okay, you can hear me. Okay. I need to be so sure it's not from my end, right? Okay, you raise your hand.
Okay, you asked who and who can use
Google, yeah. Who are the target audience for Google? Okay, Comfort said business people. Okay, who
is everybody.
is everybody? Like anybody that has access to internet, everybody that use internet, we use Google. Princess, you're about to talk.
Yes, I was about to say everybody that has access to internet, but you've already said it. There's no need.
Okay. Yeah, everybody that has access to internet, we use Google, right? So if you are writing a test plan for like a Google now, you understand the project objective. Don't forget the project objective. What's the objective? That's users is able to search the application and it returns to them as many as results that is possible. It feeds it back to the users. And the target audience, anybody that have access to internet will be our target audience. So what are the hardware and software specification of the products? By hardware, we mean device. Okay, who can answer? What are the hardware or software? I want us to contribute to the class. So if we are writing a test plan, we will know what we need to add to it. So what are the hardware do you think we can use for Google? Hardware. By hardware, we mean device. Okay, anyone?
Hello.
Don't
Yeah.
All
right.
I think hardware is our devices like a computer or phone or tablet or whatever you are using. Should be the
Yes.
hardware.
Yes, we need our phone.
Why the software should be maybe internet and the app itself.
Why the what?
The software should be the internet. The app and the app itself and you connecting to internet.
Yeah, it's part of it, right? Yeah. So if we are writing a test, thank you very much, Sadiq. Thank you very much. If we are writing a test plan for Google, right? Okay, what are the devices you expect this application to work with? I feel like I expect it to work on tablet. I expect it to work on mobile phone. Like I expect it to work on computers, almost every device, because it's of course it's Google and we expect it to work on almost everything. And sorry, we're having issue with our slide self. Okay. So, and the software, of course, the supported browser. Okay, what browser can do we think supports Google? Like what browser? Oh, yeah, I mentioned like browsers now. What browser do we expect? The supported browsers that we expected that Google
We have some like
Chrome.
Chrome,
Chrome,
Firefox,
Opera,
Opera Mini.
Opera
something
Mini,
like that.
Microsoft Edge, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we expect Google to work on every devices. So you're going to specify, some application they cannot work on all these devices. So you are going to specify from onset, okay, this application we're about to build, can it work on Chrome? Can it work on Mozilla? There are some applications that they will advise you that don't open on Chrome. I don't know if you have come across such application, because they know that if you open on Chrome, maybe like it is not well integrated with Chrome, so it might not work very well. So you need to add this to your test plan. The first thing you are going to add is the project objective. This particular product we want to build, what is the purpose? What is it going to do? Number one. The second one is your target audience, your target users who are going to use your product. Okay, imagine you are building a simple app for kids to be able to do maybe like basic multiplication and addition. Your target audience should be, okay, kids learning from age 0 to 5. So that's your target audience. You don't go beyond that. Then you come to the hardware. You are building some application does not function on tablets. You cannot open them on tab. You can only open them on maybe like phone or your mobile phone. So you have to be specific what your application can do, what it cannot do, and you have to add that to your test plan. So how does the product work? You have to have a product overflow. Like, how does our product work? That's why I said as a QA, you need to understand your product. Even sometimes QA understand products even sometimes more than the product owners, because they want to give their best to the product. They want to relate to the product and give the best to the product. So if you are writing your test plan, you are going to start with introduction. And your introduction section is going to comprises of, number one, your product objective. You can write it like 1.0. Some people use 1.0, and you have the introduction as a 1.0, and 1.1 your product objective. Then you will state your objective, the objective of this project. 1.2, yeah, the target audience of this project. 1.3, in that order. So that is how. The next thing we are going to design, that is the second phase of our test plan, is we are going to design the test strategy. And the test strategy is sometimes being prepared by the test managers. But if you are asked to write a test plan, of course, they will not know if you are a manager, or if you are a QA, if you are a junior QA. They expect you to write everything, because they expect you to know almost everything, right? So you are going to write your test strategy. Part of your test strategy is the scope of the testing. And this scope of the testing, it can either be in scope or out scope. This scope of the testing can either be out scope or in scope. I feel like in scope should come first. In scope are things that you are going to be checking, things that you are going to be testing for, things that are within the scope of your testing, like things that your application can do. That that's okay. This application, these are the things our application can do. It is within the scope of your product. Now, when I'm talking about, let me go back to the Jumia example I use. If I'm going to write in scope and out scope for like a Jumia search functionality, now we all know that currently Jumia do not have search by voice. Like, there's no way you can search by voice on Jumia. So if I'm writing like an in scope for it, after I write that, okay, my in scope is user should be able to search all this in scope, everything I know that it can do. So my out scope will now be things I know that they cannot do, or we do not currently have. Although it might be coming in our latest release. Of course, we might have that in mind. But as at the time we are doing this test plan, and as at the scope of this testing is not there. Do you understand the meaning of in scope and out scope before I continue? Because it's like something that can be very sometimes confusing sometimes. In scope is Blessing Samuel. Yeah, you can unmute and talk.
No, ma, I don't understand the in-scope.
In scope are everything that you know that your application can do. As that everything you know that the application can do, or everything you're checking for. I would cite an example. On Jumia, Blessing, can you search? If you want to search on Jumia, can you search? Like, can you search by typing on Jumia?
Can I search? Yes.
By typing on Jumia, yes, you can search by typing, Abby. And after you type, you expect it to return what you search for and every other thing for you. That is like an in scope. Like, okay, if I search, I'm expecting it to return this for me. But currently on Jumia, can you search by voice?
Okay, no, we can't search.
So that's an out scope.
Okay.
Do you get now? I'm just citing an example. Like, in scope is what you know that it is part of what your application can do. And out scope is things that is not within that within the capacity of the application and within the testing you're about to carry out. I don't know if you get my point now, Blessing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so that is just it. That is in scope and out scope. Do you have another person with another question before we continue? All right, thank you very much. So we have in scope and out scope. Now we have type of testing, so which may like means different type of testing. Okay, if I want to do testing on this application, I'll be carrying out functional test too, and by functional test I'll be doing unit testing, I'll be doing integration testing, but if you are not doing all this, like if you are going to do a specific test under your type of testing, that specific test should be like, okay, this test plan only covers integration testing, this application. But if you have a lot of tests, like you're drafting a master test plan, then you know that you have to include every type of testing you'll be carried out on that will be carried out on the application, that will be carried out on the application that you're about to test for. Do you understand? Before I continue, I'm not seeing my Zoom. So okay, we don't have any questions, so we can continue. So we have risks and issues that will list all the possible, like this, that will be the list of all the possible risks that may occur during test. Like, what are the risks now? It can be like time. It can be like maybe like the developers, if they do not fix bugs on time, limited time. What are the risks that you want to consider? Everything you think might be a risk for you, like you have to include it in the risks section. And test logistics. Who are the testers? Okay, we are going to have 10 testers to carry out this testing. They are going to have their names. We are going, okay, Blessing will be testing functional aspect of this testing. Victor will be testing non-functional aspect of this testing. They're going to have them, the name of the testers, what they are going to be doing, everything. Don't forget, you are planning for your test, so everything that will be done in your test is expected to include it. Before I leave this slide, if you want to create your test plan, know that you are going to have your introduction section, and you're going to have like a test strategy section. Under introduction section, right, you are going to have the project objective, your target audience, your hardware specification, software specification, and your the product overflow, everything as a whole. And under the test strategies, what are the things we are expected to have? Anyone? Under the test strategies, what are the things we are expected to have? Becca, good evening.
Good evening.
Becca, good evening. Please, can you give us one thing we are expected to have under our test strategy?
Okay, I would say maybe the duration of the testing, like how long it's gonna take.
Did I mention that?
Was it at the beginning of this class? But I didn't join.
No, what I just explained now. I was saying like the test strategy, right? Where we have the in scope and the out scope.
Okay.
We have what other things? Like I just explained it now.
Okay. I think you mentioned the number of testers.
Yes, the number of testers. Thank you very much. Yeah, we have the last one. Like we have another one. Who wants to help us with that?
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening. Sorry. Good
We
evening.
have the risk and I think the risk, I don't know. Then type of testing, you have type of testing.
Yes, we have the type of testing. The type of testing.
We also
as-
have test logistics.
we have the type of. You said what?
I said the test logistics.
Yes, the test logistics. That's the number of testers that we are going to be using for the testing as a whole.
And
So
the risk and issues
the
that
risks
might
and
arise.
that might arises when we
Mm.
are testing. So that is what is expected to be in our test plan, right? So our test plan will carry our introduction section, and our second section will be our test strategies section, where we have the type of testing, where we have the scope of testing, where we have the number of testers, yes, and among others. So the next one is to define the text objective, like the test case. This is just like we're just writing test case. Test case is part of test plan. Most of the time we'll just have to write as many as blind test cases we can write. Like we are going to write our test case for our futures. This we are still going to talk about test case. Test case is like a lot. Like we are still going to talk about it, and it's very key to QA also. So we have to the fourth one, we have to define the test criteria. The test criteria means like the suspension criteria and the exist criteria and the acceptance criteria. Sometimes, okay, when we want to suspend this testing, what will make us to suspend this testing? Okay, we can suspend this testing maybe if there's no developer to build the application again. So there's no point in us testing if there's no developer to build anything. If we find bug, we will fix it. So sometimes we might add that, okay, the only thing that can make us to suspend this testing is if there's no developer to write code or to fix bugs again, then there's no point in us testing. Or the exist criteria, like the exist criteria are the benchmark. Like if you have successful, after you have complete your testing phase, you can feel like, okay, if we want to exist this if we want to exist this test, like we are done, that is when we have complete our testing. These are expected results and must match before moving to the next stage of the development. Imagine that our exist criteria might be that our dev site, I'm just citing an example, our dev must be stable before we move to staging, or our staging must be stable before we move to production. So we must have an exist criteria. When are we going to stop this testing? We cannot test forever. So this particular testing, when are we going to exist this testing? So under the criteria is either we suspend the testing, like we suspend the testing for a time. You can feel like, okay, we are suspending the testing if this happened, if that happened, if that happened. Okay, we are existing this testing. That means sometimes existing might mean completion, right? We are existing testing if this has happened, if that has happened, if that has happened. Do you have any question before I proceed? Do you have any other question before I proceed?
Please.
Yes, you can raise up your hand and ask your question.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, can you please explain the defining test objectives?
The what?
Defining test objectives, number 3.
I've said number 3 is test case, right? Number 3 is
Can you
basically
shed more light?
Number 3 is basically test case, and we are still going to have a section on test case. That's why I'm not so dwelling in it. Like, do you get my point? But test case is like a document that is going to show you how to test, like your preconditions, your expected results, your actual results, your test steps. So we are still going to talk about. We have a section for test case, because test case is like a whole document on its own. So we are still going to talk about it.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not really dwelling there. So I don't know if you get my point.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So do you have any other question before we continue? Any other question? All right. So we have the resource planning. Yes, the resource planning. So this phase is aimed to details all the resources for the production. Like, for example, the woman effort, like what are the resources we need? How many QA do we need to do the test? Okay, we need 10 QAs. Okay, what are the hardware do we need? Do we just need phone? Do we just need do we need to have a PC? Do we just need only iPhone? Do we need Android? Everything. We're going to talk about the hardware. We're going to talk about the software requirements. Okay, what version of software can we use for this application? What version of Windows is compatible? What version of browser is compatible? We are going to talk about every resources that we are going to be needed. Now we have the environment, the test environment. Now the test environment is very important, as the test environment is where the QA run their test. The test environment is just like where you are asked to test. Like that's, we are just doing explorative testing. It's not as if there's a product for us to test now. But if there is a product for us to test, most of the time, QA test either on QA or on staging. We have theory testing environment. We have the dev environment, like the developers environment. We have the dev environment. We have the staging or QA environment. The staging is where after the dev have write their code, they will commit to the staging, and you will be able to test whatsoever that is on the dev in the staging also, if it has been integrated. And we have the production. The production is what users get to see at the end of the day, what users get to interact with, what users get to use. So we are going to plan the environment that we are going to be testing. Are we testing on dev? Are we testing on QA? Are we testing on? We are going to simulate at least real life scenarios, everything that needed to be done. We are going to include it to our test environment. Like, okay, for this particular application, we'll be testing it on QA environment or staging environment, and we'll be using the Chrome browser and every other thing that we think is needed. Now, we have to have a schedule and estimation. Now, the project is going to be breakdown into tasks, right? We are going to break it down. Okay, this is the number of time. How many time will it take you to test this feature? You read the feature. Okay, to take me 2 hours to test this feature, they're going to allocate 2 hours for you for that feature. Imagine you have that feature, like you have to test that kind of feature that can take you 2 hours. You have 100 of it, so they will multiply it. They just want to know how long testing will take indeed. Like, okay, it will take you 4 hours to test. Okay, what if I find bugs? There are scenarios I might find bug while testing. Okay, if how many minutes or hours will it take you to test a bug fix? Okay, it will take maybe extra 4 hours to test. So they're going to include that, like schedule and estimation. They're going to include everything in the test plan. And the last one is we are going to test the deliverables. Like we are going to determine the deliverables rather. We are going to determine the deliverables. What are our deliverables? The list of documents, the tools, and other equipment that we must have created. Like our test plan is a deliverable because we are going to present it to the product management or the product owners. We are going to, our test case is like a deliverable. Yes, our test case is a deliverable because we are going to present it to them also. And every other form of deliverable that we might have created along with the projects, like our bug reports also. Our bug report is a deliverable also that we have to present. Okay, when we are testing, we find 10 bugs, 5 were fixed, 5 were not fixed. We have 5 low priority bugs, 10 non-priority, 10 middle or high priority bugs, depending on everything that we find in the application. So that is going to be how we write our test plan, everything. I still have some images here, but there's a bug on this stuff on my phone. So do you have any question? Do you have any question? Do you understand? This one, nobody is talking like this. Hope I've not been talking to myself.
Can hear you.
Yeah, do you have any question? Do you understand? I should try and refresh. Oh, okay, this particular page. I don't think it's refreshed. This are image, so I feel like it's not loading. So if you want to write a test plan now, since we all understand, and I know that if I ask you to talk, you will not talk. So I'll be asking us what and what should be in our test plan. Let me do a quick review, like a quick recap of where our test plan is starting from and where it's going to. Don't forget, we are going to start our test plan from the introduction phase. That introduction phase. And what are we introducing? We are introducing the product. What is the product objective? What is the our target audience of the product? What other things do we have there? What are the hardware and software of that our products want to work on? And what are the product work overflow. Now, the next one we are going to be having after that is going to be our test strategy, right? Under our test strategy, we are going to be having our in-scope and out-scope, like our testing types, like what type of testing are going to be carried out. We are going to be talking about the risks the risks and issues that might arise if we want to test. And another thing is that we are to also talk about, or we are to talk about the number of testers that we will be needing to carry out that particular test. Yeah, we need to talk about. Now, the third one is for our test case. Our test case is just a document, as I've said earlier, that is going to show us, okay, how to test, like a step-by-step guide of what to test for, our expected result and outcome and actual results. We are still going to talk about test case in this class also later. So we have our test case, and the fourth one is going to be our test criteria. Okay, do we have a suspension criteria? Do we have an existing criteria? We have a suspension criteria. If we are to suspend this testing, what will happen? What will make us to suspend? Okay, if we are to exist this testing, is it like, are we going to exist on a successful completion, or we are going to want to put the whole testing on a hold, or we are not even testing again? You are just going to determine it. Now, the next one is going to be our resources. Don't let us forget. I'm just doing a quick recap. The next one is going to be our resources. What are the human efforts we need? How many laptops do we need to test? What type of windows do we need to test? How many phones? How many devices do we need to test? Everything that we need to test, our resources, we are going to talk about it. And another one is for us to talk about the environment we are testing. Okay, if we want to test this environment, if we want to carry out our testing, right? What environment are we going to carry out this testing? Is it the staging? I said staging and QA is the same thing. Okay, are we testing on the dev machines? Like, are we testing on the dev environment, or we are testing on production? Like, this application is live, we are using the same thing. Imagine you are testing an application that they just want to do an integration testing of what a user is already using. So we just have to test on what user is using. Sometimes they have to go and test on that live. Let's know what is happening. And sometimes they will create a UAT, like they will simulate user user application for you, so you're able to test with that. So another one, we are going to schedule, we are going to plan an environment, then we are going to schedule an estimation. By schedule and estimation, it means that how many hours are we going to test? We might have 120 hours. Okay, QA1 we use 120 hours to test 3 features. QA2 we use 150 hours to test 3 features. And if bug arises, QA1 we need extra 10 hours because it will take 1 hour to even fix 1 features. And if she sees like 10 bugs, we just have to be details enough. We just have to be details enough. And our deliverables, like I've told you what our deliverables, they are those documents we are going to present to the product owners and the users. Like, okay, the product owners, right? This is what these are the documents. Like, test plan is our document. This is our test plan. This is our test case. These are our bug reports. These are bug fix and everything. So do we have any question? Do we have any question from anybody? I've just do a quick recap. So do we have any question? All right, our Zoom, we do not have question. So I want us to do like a classwork now. And I want you to be uniform. You will be sharing your screen because me too, I'm using phone. So if I call your name, I may not be able to call everybody, right? But if I call your name, you'll be sharing your screen. So we are going to write a test plan, but this time around, it's not going to be a lot, right? Yeah, just keep it. That test case, just keep it. Don't write test case. That's going to take time. So we are going to have every other thing. So we are going to write a unit test plan on Google search functionality. We are going to write a unit test plan on Google search functionality. If you are using your phone, just go to the notes aspect of your phone. And if you are using your PC, just go to the Word. And if you do not understand, Mr. Hope has left. I hope everybody will not start leaving. And if you don't understand, you can just raise up your hand and let me explain myself. Okay. Becca, I want to believe that. I don't even know why I'm calling your name today.
Exactly, Maya, calling my name today.
I don't even know why I say. So, have you started? How do you understand? Do you have any question?
Yes, I have a question.
All right. If I did not call you, you don't know you want to ask a question. What's your question?
I wanted to raise up my hand.
All right. So, what's your question?
Okay, so you said I should write a test plan for
Yes, a
um,
unit test plan. A unit test plan for a search functionality on Google. Right.
Okay, please explain that, please, because I don't really understand that properly.
Like, you have to just draft a test plan. You understand what a test plan is. You understand everything that is needed to be in a test plan now,
Yeah.
right? Yes. Now, you are not doing all these other types of testing. You're just doing a unit test plan, just the search functionality. I'm
Okay.
asking this because of the introduction section and some other section that will need you to be explicit on what you are testing.
Okay.
Like your in scope, yes, your in scope and your house scope. Yes. You will need you to do that also. Because what are you testing for? Do you understand now, Becca? Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Do you have anyone that wants to ask questions, that want to raise up his or her hand? Okay, you can unmute and talk. Goodness.
Okay. Give us about 8 ways or 8 steps to take while writing a test plan. So the one you say we should do now, should we cover the 8 steps?
Yes, just something short. And if you cannot, but you should be able to cover it now. It's not as if you are going to write just something short. Just be short. I don't want to be so sure we
Okay.
understand. Like, I just want to be sure we understand.
Okay.
Just something short. Yeah, thank you. Do you have anyone that wants to ask a question? Anyone?
Yes, I want to ask a question.
All right, Sadiq.
The question, well, according to what I understand, what you ask,
Yes,
from the test plan, that's the specific test plan, is
yes.
what say if you use only the unit test plan. So now this last lady now ask, we say we should use all that's the eight. Before you are giving us just only one. You just said only one. That's unit test plan. Now you are saying that we should write the whole test plan. So which one are
Ah,
we really writing?
if we are writing a unit test plan, even Mr. Sadiq, I feel like if we are writing a unit test plan, that does not mean you will not cover everything that's supposed to be in a test plan process. I don't know if you get my point. Because it
I'm
is
getting your point, but
because it is a unit test plan does not mean if it is a master test plan, then your type of testing will have to cover every types of testing you are going to be testing. Mr. Sadiq, do you understand?
no, understand now, understand.
Now that you are now doing a unit test plan, under your types of testing, instead of you are going to be testing every other type of testing, it will just be limited to that types of testing you are carrying out. That does not
But
mean you are skipping
I
the.
want to this thing now it will be very long, and the time I don't think we can
No,
cover all
we
this.
still have time now.
Instead, you always want to give us as like assignment. This is a long thing. It's not something that we just write now and you just want to
Okay. Let's write. Okay. Because we are complaining that it's long. Okay, let's write
because
the.
it's
Let,
much
let's
now. It's
okay.
eight.
Let's write the first theory. First theory. How about that? I want us
Okay,
to listen.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah, but
everybody, let's write the first theory. When you are
because
done with the first,
the first one is like having like 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3.
as short now, like they can be as short as possible. I've explained to you what Google is doing. Even when I was explaining, I was even using Google as an example. Okay, for the purpose of our time, right? Let's write 1 to 3. No, you are writing your introduction section, you are writing your test strategy section, and you are writing your test case. And you're not writing test case, you just want to include it like test case. Okay, let's stop at 3 because of time, as Mr. Sadiq has said. When you are done, you can raise your hand and you can share your screen. Do you understand? All right. So I'll be waiting for us. Temidayo, do you have question?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Temidayo, do you understand how to write the introduction section of a test plan?
Yes. Now,
What
okay, this
what
is part where we talk about the objective, Abi. The primary
yes, the
objective and all.
yes. I just want to be so sure that we understand the whole test plan as well, because test plan is kind of tricky. I just want us to get on something. So you just have to, for Google now, I was even using Google as an example, right? You have your objective, you have your target audience. We've even talked about this stuff. We have your objective, you have your target audience, you have your hardware and software. Temidayo. Okay, I feel like
Yes. You get
you understand, you get the point now. So let's just do 1 to 3. 1, 2. Let's just do the introduction section and the test strategy section.
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you, goodness.
Okay, what did you say we should do now?
Yes, instead of us writing the whole 8 steps, right? We should just stop at, because of our time, just stop at the third one, which is the test case. But you're not writing test case, just include 3.0 test case. Goodness, do you understand? Hello, are we done?
No, ma, I'm not done. No.
Okay. But we are progressing, right? Becca, are you done? Comfort. Okay, Shamaka. Are you done, Shamaka? Can you unmute?
Yes, good evening. I want to check if I'm on track.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me stop. Let me stop sharing. Or can you
Okay.
share your screen? Let me
Okay.
stop sharing.
Should I
Okay.
share now?
Yeah, you can share now.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Mm. Or can
Ah,
anyone confirm if they can see our screen? Like
No,
anyone?
no. We
Okay.
can't see us.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
okay. How about now?
No, we can't.
Oh, good.
Can't see the screen.
Okay, your screen is coming up now. Yeah, we can see it now.
Can you see now?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay.
Okay. Of this test is to check different functionality of Google search, product objective, search functionality. Okay. All accessible platform with cross functionality. Okay. Okay, yeah, you can continue. You can stop sharing.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You can stop sharing.
How about stop sharing like this?
I want to share my.
Yeah, you are free to share your screen. If you are done, you are free to share your screen.
I'm not done. I'm still doing, but let me share at least one I've done so far.
All right.
Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
How about now?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Can you see?
I'm using Google as I am using the map. As a Google test case, I don't really understand.
Like you ask us to use Google, sorry, as a test case, as a test case, like a case study. Sorry, the case study.
Test case means another thing for testers. So maybe you should use another word.
The case study.
Okay. Okay. Analyze the
Analyze
product.
the product.
What kind of an application is for as a search engine? Okay. Product objective, the main objective of Google is to serve as search engine. All right, yeah, you can continue.
Okay.
And you can also continue. So because of our time, it should be done by now. I'm expecting us to be done so we can. Becca, you can unmute and talk.
Ma, I'm not done, right? But I just want to share my.
Oh, okay. Share your screen.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, share your screen.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
Okay. Can you? Okay, this is a unit to. Yes. Okay. Can you drag? Okay, yeah. I already say you're not done. What else do you need to add?
It might be okay.
Yeah, I asked us to stop at 3 because of our time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you can continue later, right? But because of our time, I asked us to stop at 3.
Thank you.
That was detailed enough. Thank you. Wait, oh, can you share your screen again, Becca? Sorry, I want to check something. I want to be sure. Becca.
Okay, ma.
Yeah, please, can you share your screen? I need to check. Okay, yes. You are missing out this scope. Yes. Your scope, your in scope and your out scope. I'm not saying that. Do you get?
Yes, ma, I'll add it.
Yeah, thank you. Samuel, are you talking? You're not muted. Hello, Sam. Favor. Please, who was
Yes,
talking?
I'm
Okay.
not done. I'm not done.
How is
You
it?
share?
How is it going? Where are you
Yeah,
now?
it's going well. Though for my out scope and in scope, I'm not sure about that. I've not done that yet. And then risks and issues because I actually I'm trying to think of the possible risks that could occur, but
The possible risks are
I'm
like
still working on it. Should I share?
Yeah, you can share.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Sam. Yeah, you are not muted.
Okay, so I just did some work. Can I share?
Okay, wait. I guess Favor wants to share a screen after.
Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
No.
Okay, coming.
Please, if the third person, I be second person is done, I can share mine too. Thank you.
All right, blessing. All right. Oh, okay. Soma, all right.
Thank
Favor,
you.
all right. Favor, are you sharing? Okay. Because of our time. Sam,
Can you
are
hear
you
me?
ready to share? Yes, I can hear you. Okay, your screen is coming up. Yeah, we can see your screen.
Can you see it now?
Yes, we
Oh,
can see
okay.
it. Yes.
All right. So this is what I have for now.
Okay. Can you read your project objective?
Okay. Project objective. To be the go-to search engine for people who, who make use of the internet and to be able to source for possible questions.
Where's the make?
Ma, sorry.
Where's the make?
Yeah, that who make.
Who
Sorry,
use-
let me.
Okay. Use the internet to be able to
Who
sort.
make use who make use of the internet and want to search. I want and to be able to source for possible questions, documents, and web pages.
Okay. Target users, people who have the specification. Why don't you specify your hardware? Like why? Why are you telling us device? Why don't you be so specific?
Okay, so I could make use of like phones.
You have to be specific enough.
Oh, okay, okay. I'll change that.
All right, no problem. All right, let me see your scope. Can you scroll up, please?
I'm already in scope. The scope of testing, the in scope, I just put if the application can search, bring out results. Because at the time when you were explaining, I got logged out. My network was really bad, so
But
I
yeah,
couldn't really do any.
that's like an in scope. If user can search, if users get results of what they search for, like that's still in scope. If it's in Google, we have search by voice. Yes, like it's still an in scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, your out scope is anything that
Okay.
is not
So I could.
in the. What do you say?
Okay. No, I was listening. You said anything that is not within.
Like
I can
within
hear
the,
you.
like within the application, like currently.
Can you hear me?
That is not available. Yes, I can hear you, and I'm replying you. Currently,
Okay,
anything
I'll do that. Yeah, I
you
will
can
do that.
that's good. That's good. Made those corrections, and okay, the next person should please share because of our time. The next person, that should be Sam, Abi.
Okay.
Sam, you can share your screen now. Like Sam is next, and that Sam is Soma. Sam, are you there? Sam, are you there? All right, our Zoom is not there. Soma.
Hi, I'm coming. Let me share.
All right, please share your screen, please.
Okay.
Be very quick.
Okay. Is it showing?
Yes.
It's showing, right?
Yes, it's showing.
Okay. So this is mine.
Nice. The product. Google this. Product marketing. That's the who can say asking for the application. Which part? Your software device is not iPhone, laptop, and Android. That should be your. Oh, I don't understand. Can you explain your hardware and software specification?
Okay, I don't know, from what I got, my understanding, I felt it was maybe hardwares and software specification. If it can work with iPhone, if the app can
That
work
is
with Android, if it can work with laptop.
yes, that's hardware specification. Then we have software specification like browser, like window, like iOS version. Do you get?
Okay, yeah, I'm supposed to remove the software. Sorry.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
does product work?
All right.
All right, you can continue. All right, Sam.
Thank you.
Sam, I've been calling you. You can share your screen. Please be very quick. We still have Blessing. Yeah, be very quick because of our time.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Not yet. Please, if you know you want to share your screen and you have not shared your screen at all, you can raise your hand. So we know the number of people that want to share. You know you are done or you're not done, you just want us to have a quick check of what you are doing. Sam, we cannot see your screen.
I see now.
No.
Excuse me, ma, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
You said the hardware is like phone, Android, laptop, while the softwares are like maybe the Mozilla, Safira, Chrome, and all of that. So how does the product work? I mean, like the product workflow overview. Can you please throw more light on that for me?
The product workflow overview is going to be like everything about the product, like just an overview of how the product works. The product is going to work on this type of software, right? On this type of hardware, right? The product is going to work in this type of environment. Like just a quick overview of what the product entails and how it's going to work. Do you get the point?
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Do we need to add that since we are doing for...
Since we are already showing the hardware and software, do we need to add how the product works?
Since you're even writing for units, I don't really think you need to really add that, but you can include it and you cannot include it. But those lists are just things that are expected to be in the text plan. Like things that are expected to be. Sometimes you might read some test plan, it might be more than this. You might read some test plan, it might not even up to this. But at least what are expected to be in your test plan are the list I gave out earlier. So who is sharing now? Sorry. Whose screen is this? Who is sharing? No.
I think it's Sam.
Sam.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see your screen now.
Okay, so yeah, it's
Sam, your screen is still blank.
blank. Can you see now?
Yes, I can see it now. Yes, yeah. Okay, this is anything online. The target users will be everyone with access to internet. Okay. Why is your resources plan coming under theory? I feel like the resources
Okay,
plan
I
is
wasn't
like
following. I was just trying to.
okay. The resources plan is like a section on its own in the text strategy, right? The only thing that needs there to be included is just like the number of queries we need, not like the woman effort. Do you get?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. You can stop sharing now. So, Blessing Samuel, you can share your screen now. Blessing, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, here.
Yeah, please share your screen.
Hello.
Yes, I'm here, ma'am.
Hello, Blessing. Yeah, you can share your screen.
Yes. Mine to see my screen now.
Yes, we can see it now. Okay.
Right.
So now it's for users to be able to search for information. Okay. 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 Yeah, that's a good house scope, right? All right. Number of testing. Okay. Scroll down. But I said this testing should be unit testing. So the performance test, since I specifically said we should write a unit test plan, so the performance test should not be included. Blessing, do you get that? Yeah. Check. I can't see the weeks very well. Check if there are box. Check for invalid inputs or incorrect information. Those are issues, Abby, not weeks.
Yes, those are issues.
Issues. All right. All right, thank you. So the next person should be Princess. Princess, a very quick one. After that, goodness we share. Then Oluwadamilare. So that will be the. Do we still have any other person that wants to share? I feel like our time is fast spent already. All right, Princess.
Can you see
Princess.
my screen?
Yes, it's coming up. Yes.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, so the primary objective of this test is to manually verify that the search field can receive user queries, their inputs, and process them and return the accurate, relevant information that they're requesting.
What is user's queries?
Those are inputs made by the users. Like if they're asking a question, if they're trying to find a picture of something, if they're trying to find anything at all, those are queries.
All right. So you can continue.
Okay, so the target users is anyone with access to internet. The hardware and software specifications. For my hardware, I said desktop or laptop, tablets, smartphones, Android or iOS.
Okay.
Then we have software like Chrome, Firefox, Safari. Stable internet connection is needed for me to access this software and web browser, sorry. And then it can run, these web browsers can either run on either of these operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. So how the unit works, the search field is to, the user will input a query, like a question or something that the user wants to find, then when the user searches for the answer to whatever they've typed in, it should be able to process it. It should be able to bring out the accurate result.
Okay.
So for the test strategy, we have the scope of testing. For in-scope, I will test manually if the input field behavior is normal. Like if you input something and click search, does it actually search for that information?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Then we have the validation of the search query submission. Does it validate that submission? Is it an information already logged into Google's database? Then is the output rendering directly from the query? Does it answer that particular question, or does it give you abstract answers? Then we have error messages and the behavior of the invalid output. So if you input something like gibberish, will it give you an error message that what you typed is not accurate? Or will it just search for something related to it and give it to you? That's for in-scope. Then for out-scope, for this out-scope, I'm looking at user experience features that we cannot see, like it's beyond visibility, it's not on the search bar, the back end in particular. It could be integration with all these Google services, Google Music, Google Photos, etc. Gmail. Is it integrated? I know it's something that can be done, but it's not done yet. So another thing is the test result personalization. So for if a user searches for something broad, like let's say test not software, it can bring out a lot of information concerning software. It must not be the particular type that the user is looking for, because whatever the user typed is broad. So is it possible that that search field is going to bring out personalized information just by typing those that particular broad word? That's what I'm looking for in the outscope. So for the testing type, I'm going to be using manual unit testing. So I'll test the unit independently before full system integration. So we use different types of input, the valid input, invalid. The valid input is for the positive testing, the invalid input for the negative ones, special characters is also negative, white space, and etc. So when I type all these things, I'm going to observe and then compare the actual output and what I actually expected the search field to give me. And then I'll confirm the responses, the UI responses, such as course of behavior. If I'm typing something into, let's say, if I write soft, will it complete it for me? Does it have suggestions in that test field? Then I'll go to the risk and issues. I think this is long.
All right. Well done. I saw what you did there. Yeah. Well done. Goodness.
Yep.
Yeah. You can present your screen.
Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming up.
Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, so unit testing, test plan for Google search functionality. The first one, to analyze the product. What is the primary objective of the product, of the functionality? It helps users quickly find the most relevant information from the web by typing in the search bar.
Yes.
Who's the target audience? Anyone with internet access who wants to find information. So it could be students, professionals, general public, as long as you're in need of information, you are a Google user. Then software requirements. What kind of software do we need to do this testing? We need modern web browsers like Chrome, Firefox. Of course, we need internet connection, and we also need to test iOS and Android devices. For hardware requirements, we need mobile phone, we need a tablet, a desktop, and a laptop. Then for test strategy, in scope, that's what we're going to test. Because it's a unit test, we're testing just the search bar. So for InScope, the search functionality returns results when a user enters a valid keyword, and also how it handles empty or invalid inputs. For instance, I was testing a product recently. When you just press your space bar, maybe like 10 times or whatever, and click enter or save, it will work. And that's a bug. So
Yeah.
test if it works. And then out of scope, what we won't test, because like I said, it's a unit testing. We're just testing the search bar. We won't search for the full UI and design layout. We won't search for voice search. We won't test for image and video search. We won't test for performance and speed testing, because this is unit testing. Then type of testing, we are solely doing unit testing for this particular assignment. Then risk and issues. Test data might not match real search data. Network issues might affect test results. Maybe you're having internet connection and it's not really working well. And then, of course, we're all in Nigeria. Power issues may delay testing. You might not be able to meet up. And maybe tester can say it could take 2 or 3 days. In my logistics, 2 or 3 days, but maybe the person has power issues, or it could even be the laptop is bad or something, and it delays the testing. And then test logistics, we need testers, 1 or 2 testers to test this functionality. Tools, we need an iPhone, we need a tablet, we need a laptop. And then test duration, 2 or 3 days, 2 to 3 days. Test environments, I believe test environment should be part of test logistics. Let me know if I'm wrong, but we also need to set it up. It should be, right?
Yeah, it should come later, right? There is still a stage for test environment also.
Okay, so
And
it's not part of logistics.
yeah, even I'm not saying it's not, the test logistics you give it now is now saying everything that tells, right? Even this duration can still come later when you're doing your estimation, like when you're doing, we still have.
Okay.
But the whole idea is that you just have to at least be original. These are what should be in your test plan. So it does not matter when it comes, or do you get the point now? So
yes.
just have it. I love this. I love this. Thank you very much.
Right.
All right, we have Oluwadami Lave as the last person. I'm not sure. Oluwadami Lave, are you still on this call? Can you share your screen before we call it a day? Oluwadami Lave.
I am here. I'm sharing my screen already.
All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. So just scroll. You can just scroll. Maybe it's not right. Just scroll. All right. All right. All right. All right. Thank you very much, everybody that attempts the task. And thank you very much for everybody that puts
I've
in.
not done my own.
Sorry, I have a question, Carol. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, you can ask your question.
Okay, I want to talk about goodness slide in our outscope. I
Okay.
see something like she said voice search is not to be tested, and I believe that Google search incorporates voice search. So is it not to be tested?
She's saying that because it's a unit test. So she's only testing the text box search.
Yeah, just the text box.
You get
Well, in the text box, that is where the what's it called is incorporated. When you're talking of unit testing, the test box, everything in it as a whole is a unit testing because it is not different. It is not outside the box. I
let me
believe.
check the let me
Yeah.
check.
There are actually different functionalities. If you test the text box and you also test the image recognition, that's a different unit on its own. When you do both of them together, what you're doing is integration. Because they are actually two different functionalities, two different user stories that will be waiting for each of those features.
Thank you, goodness. Shamaka.
Yes.
Shamaka, can you hear me?
I
Yeah.
can hear you.
If you want to do
Me, I understand what she said, but me, I want you to put a clarification on it because I still believe, like,
you still
search
believe that
box,
the search
search
box
text
do you,
box
do
of
you,
Google, it is a unit on its own, and it, like, the whole everything inside it is standalone. So I believe it should be like everything should be on your own, not like the what's it called, the icon, this the voice icon is outside the box, nor the camera is outside the box. That's what I believe.
okay.
I don't know.
Do you believe that you can
Oh,
ask to carry out? Do you also believe that? I'm asking you a question, Shamaka. Do you also believe that you can ask to carry out a unit test on the search by voice alone without considering
that is when you make a
considering
specification, but you didn't make a specification really, right?
okay.
It's more like when you want to do a checkbox.
Okay, I understand that you because there was no specification.
Yes.
That maybe because it was not stated in the specification, of course we can say it, right? But when you're talking about a unit is like a smallest. You can even ask to search by image alone. That is a unit. But maybe because I did not specify it, I just asked you to carry out a unit test on the search field, right? So I will understand. Yeah. So thank you. And I hope you all understand what you are trying to say. The text box, right? I just checked Google now, and both the search by box and the search by image are units inside the text input. So you can carry out your unit test for the text box, and when you are checking your text box, you have to check your other components inside that unit also. And as well, if you are to carry out a single unit test on your search by box alone, if it were to be like this, the search by voice and search by image are outside the box. Now it's a different thing. That's why I will accept that. Do you understand, Chiamaka and goodness? Hope that was clear enough.
I have to ask, because when you said unit test, I understood it as just working on just one functionality. And I assumed you were talking about the search functionality, the text search. And you could have also specified if you wanted us to work on the voice search,
yes, that is
or the image search. Now, my question is, if we test for the voice search, the image search, and the text box search, three of them will test for it together. Is that not integration testing?
You have not integration testing.
Please, I want to say something about what Goodness said. For example, let's take an example. When you are talking of atom, that is the smallest unit of a molecule. H2O, which is water, it is an atom. So if you want to carry out a test on water, you won't carry out a test on hydrogen alone. It will be a combination of both hydrogen and water, and oxygen rather, because both of them are together. So I think
Chiamaka,
that is right. Yes?
Chiamaka,
No.
Chiamaka.
They are different.
Wait. When you're trying to do a unit test, if you want to consider this for the purpose of Google, it's Google that caused all this thing. They have a text box, and inside the text box, they have search by and search by image, because everything here are still searching. Do you get the point? Either I want to search by text, either I want to search by voice, and either I want to search by image. I'm still searching. So that's why they can put everything inside the text box. So if I'm to test this text box as a unit, because of course this is not an integration testing. Goodness, it's not an integration. I'm still testing this text box. So if I'm to test this text box as a unit, I'm going to test if I'm able to search by text, because this voice is still inside that text box. I'm still going to test it. That does not mean I'm doing an integration testing. Integration testing is if I'm leaving this text box to another thing entirely. I feel like, goodness, do you understand now? Goodness.
Yes, I understand what you're explaining.
Yes, you can just
That
go back to Google now and check what is there. So that's why we have to consider it as a unit, because it's still a section, like it's still a unit that performs the same functionality. So that's why they added it together. If I'm checking any other thing aside from this text box now to check, maybe I can use this Google search icon instead, or I can use this I am feeling lucky icon instead. So maybe I will now say that, okay, I'm doing integration testing. But in as much as I'm still in, that is why we did understanding testing UI elements. In as much as I'm still in within the scope of that UI element and it contains those things, I'm still going to perform my testing on it. I hope you understand.
yeah,
Goodness.
but that doesn't mean that they are the same unit. They are separate, right?
What do you say?
That doesn't mean that they are the same units. They are separate individual units that exist on their own.
They can still stand alone. The search by text can be broken, and they will still have to fix it alone without considering the search by voice. And the search by voice can be broken. They will still have to fix it
Excuse me,
alone.
ma. Do you know that the voice icon is actually imputed because of people with impurity?
Yes,
So
I
that is
know.
why it is together. It can't be separated.
No,
Google
they can.
designed for every user.
Shamaka, this thing can still stand alone. Okay, imagine if you are able to search by voice practically, but you discover that when you are trying to search by text is not when you're trying to search by text is not working. When you're trying to input text is not working. Okay, are you going to tell me that the developer that wants to fix it will go and fix both the text and the voice, and as a tester you will test after you have raised a
What I believe is that Google designed that platform for all users. I am not talking about other section. Yes, there are other platforms that icons are not incorporated, which is voice note and camera. That is, it can stand alone. I get that part. But I'm talking on this Google part on its own. Google is designed for all users with visual impairment and with someone that can see. So the voice is for people that have visual impairment. So it can't stand separately.
Shamaka, you're still not getting my point. I'm not disputing the fact that Google did not. I explained earlier that everything is inside the text box and everything is performing what search functionality. We are still searching. Now, if the search by voice break, I'm currently inspecting the elements. I don't know, Shamaka, if you can inspect Google. I don't know if you know how to do that. You can inspect and check the search by voice.
I think our phone has gone off. She just dropped. But Chiamaka, I understand your point there. And each of these functionalities or features, they are very, very important. And like you said, the voice search